So this first recording is probably going to be kind of very informal because I'm going to sort of take you through it, and to be honest, I don't even recall exactly where I left off with this Bell Garage project. It's a pretty simple project, but I'm taking it to the fullest extent because I'm testing out some stuff of applying between this Autodesk product, which is the one that you're going to be learning the most, and the one that's behind it, which is the 3D Chief Architect product. And so we'll start here. So I'll make this full screen. And then let's, oh boy, why is it just giving me that? Because I've been working on Fisher so much. So Fisher projects are there. So we need to go to Open. Now I gotta bring this over. And under my projects, I need to go down to Bell. Bell Garage. There's ACAD. This is for Chief. This is the program that's behind us right now. This is where I do sizing software. This is where I keep documents. When I create PDF stuff, there's proof prints to send to the client. Any photographs, like especially when we're doing remodel additions on existing projects. ResCheck is an energy software, and then this is some site-specific information that may come from Cadastral or Google Earth or Google Maps or whatever. So this is where we need to open projects for AutoCAD, ACAD. I'm calling it that for decades. So then the export from Chief. That's items that I've exported from the program that is behind here, the Chief Architect, to bring into this AutoCAD, which is where we're going to do the final plots, and all of our construction documents always come out of AutoCAD, not out of Chief. I don't print anything from Chief. So Bell CDs, which CD stands for Construction Documents. We go into here, and right in there are the main sheets. And so we've got a cover sheet, and we've got our general notes. General notes is hopefully getting sparse because it's just a garage, so I've been thinning it out. I need to see where I'm at there. Site plan, I'm going to combine with the notes to reduce the sheet count. And then we have a floor plan, and then the title block, which shows up on every page. And then plotting is a big, huge file that it's an XREF of everything. So I can see what you're doing without disturbing you, because if I get into the same file you're in, that could cause havoc. But the plotting file is just a reference to every drawing, and it is where I plot the final sheets from. So I can actually open them up, take a look at them, send you notes, tell you what's going on. The working drawing is where we take floor plans and we create elevations out of them. Really hard to see on this little screen, but we'll get into it. And then there is the framing plan, which in this case is just a roof framing of trusses. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So maybe just a real quick, we'll jump over. Well, first let's just open up the plotting drawing, because I always keep that one open, since it doesn't disturb you in any way. There we go. All right. So that is open, and what it has is down here at the bottom, there's the different sheets. So there's the cover sheet, and don't worry about the red stuff, that does not print. That's to help me do alignments and such. So that includes just an overview of the garage in 3D, some websites that he can make use of during his project, contact information for the people involved, all the abbreviations that I use throughout plans, a sheet index, which we'll have to update when we're done, but I try and keep it kind of in order, and then a square footage block, which on a simple garage is really almost nothing, but just kind of wanted to show you around. So this is Z, enter, which is a space bar. Enter and space bar are the same thing. So that's Z for zoom. And then you see in the bottom, this is your command line. It's your friend. And until you get used to things, you'll have all these ones. And we want to zoom extents, which is E. So you don't have to, you can click on this if you want, or you can just hit E, enter, which is E space bar, and it zooms it to the extents of that layout. It makes it a little larger, a little easier to see. You can use your scroll wheel to zoom in and look at the different definitions for symbols, and here's the websites that we hand out for different topics. And then here's the designer, the homeowner, general information, contractor, square footage, our sheet index, which is not correct yet, but we just keep refining that as we get down into the number of sheets, where it's being built, and how to get there. So vicinity map. So then you've got the general notes, which is what I've said I've been reducing the number of notes because it's just a garage. This is usually a whole sheet of notes. And then I'm bringing in the site plan to a specific scale. And these are viewports. So this is actually a view, a window, that's set to a scale. So if I double click, you'll see it turn dark. And the scale down here in the bottom right, way down here, is it's 1 inch equals 20 feet. And you can change that to any of these on this list. So that's the scale that works appropriately here. And you can see what happens. I mean, if I change it to a 1 inch equals 30, it gets a little small. And if I go to a 1 inch equals 10, we might be able to get that to fit. We'll see now that I've done some adjustments with this. But for right now, 1 inch equals 20 feet. There's not a lot of detail on this site. We do have a sewer line from the city running right through his property. So we have to have the setbacks, all dimensioned, all that sort of thing. And when it's in black and white. Now, once you're in this mode, one thing you should know is you can pan in here. And so if I pan, you can't just get out of pan. You're stuck in here. So you have to either escape, and then you can get out. But if that's the only command that I know of that kind of acts that way, is pan when you're in a viewport, which is this green thing. It's called a viewport. So now I'm going to hit Control-Z just to get it back where it was, because I probably made sure all my text was inside this window. So then we have a site plan sheet, which is going to disappear because it's now part of general notes. We have the main floor plans, which includes the 3D view of the framing, the floor plan itself, fully dimensioned with some notes as to what is what layer and everything that you see here. And then each wall, it shows how to frame it. So it's a pretty complete plan. This is way beyond any garage plan. So, but this is what I was talking about. This is the experiment. This information and this 3D view came out of Chief. So this is where I'm combining the two softwares. Elevations. This is how I normally would have created an elevation. So this is elevation combined with the electrical plan. And the electrical plan plots very differently. This will be more advanced. We won't worry about that yet. We're going to get you drawing lines and understanding things like hatch and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of guiding you around here real quick, and I'm probably going to have to stop this video and do another one. So this is the general structural notes. Then we have a foundation plan that needs to be done, the framing plan. This is the old one. So we will have a roof framing plan. I'll probably combine that with the foundation plan, and then we'll have sections, but I don't have any sections created here. So I'm going to create sections with you, all that sort of thing, because then you'll actually see the drafting. So that is kind of a quick run through of what we're looking at as far as here is AutoCAD. This is called the ribbon. And so we got the Home tab in the ribbon. You'll spend most of your time on the Home tab. That's where all the drawing tools are. But you don't need many of these tools. In model space, you'll see this kind of looks like a complete mess. I just zoomed extents. So that was Z space, E space. And you can see what I'm doing down here. It's got a 300 millisecond or 600 millisecond fade. You can set that up to higher if you want. You can set it not to fade if you want. Whatever you'd like. You can also go back and preview or review some steps, and you can scroll through this to really take a look back at the different things, the different commands that I've used so far since I've opened this program. So that was escape. These are the little things that are spread out throughout here that you're seeing in the views in these pages. So the cover sheet's right here, and that's actually a sheet that's created elsewhere, and that's it right here. And then this is a full set of notes, or this might be the general or the structural notes. Yeah, this is the structural notes. So I haven't edited the structural notes to simplify them yet. This is that 3D view. The cover page has its 3D view embedded in it, and that is because it's in a completely different drawing. So right now we have one drawing open. That is up here at the top in that drawing. All those tabs you see at the bottom are here. So I can switch between them this way, or I can go down to the bottom and switch between them this way. Then we'll get into things like, this is almost always on, and so is this. This is always on. I'm not a big fan of grid snaps, which are these, and I'm not a fan of showing the grid or seeing it. You can see it lightly show up right there. If you want it, those are little personal deals that you can do on your own. So these over here are the layer set. So these are all the layers, and you can think of a layer as kind of a transparent piece of paper. And so anything I draw that's landscaping, and if it's a fence, it goes on this layer. If it's foliage, it goes on this layer. I should change that because foliage is animals. There should be plants. So we can even just call that landscaping. Outbuildings, pools, walkways, all that sort of thing. And they have different colors. The color is what creates the line thickness when it prints. So typically, except for white's a standard thickness line. Red and yellow are considered brighter colors, and so they print wider, thicker, and then other colors such as dark blue, harder to see, and that creates a thin line. There's also a magenta, which we use in elevations, and that creates a thick border around our elevation to make it stand out in the page. Then there is, this thing is bright, but this is our layer thin. This is the thinnest line that we have in drawing. And so we'll get into the drawing techniques as I go through those, but that's just a quick shoot through it. And I'm going to stop this recording and send it off as a first test and see how this goes.